Hi guys! With Tableau, Geographic Visualizations is basically spatial visualizations or spatial viz are created with data types that has the geographic of a geographic nature. This means that we could create maps, either filled maps, simple maps, or density maps using Tableau. So what are filled maps? Filled maps are basically maps that filled with color in certain areas. For example, if you specify a state in the United States map, then each state will be colored with different color, or be specified with a different border, with its border, defined by its border, and with a certain color based on, for example, the sum of sales or profits or. This kind of maps, we call them choropleth maps, choropleth, or we call them just filled maps. So I would like to create with you a filled map. Over here is the step-by-step instructions to create this filled map. As you can see, using for creating a spatial map or a geographic viz, you need a data type of a geographic nature. Over here we have a state as a geographic nature, and then we have one measure. And to change, because it's a filled map, means it's a filled with different colors. We need different shades of the color, and then we need the measure to specify that gradual color. As you recall from previous class, guys, in the previous class we talked about how discrete data fields give us discrete colors, while in the data fields in the data frame that belongs to measures, continuous of course, over here will automatically with Tableau be given a gradual coloring. So let's recreate this or reproduce this visualization. Let me switch to Tableau. So over here, here's our Tableau sheet. Would like to create a map of the United States. So what I would do is either double click or drag the state, or if you want, there's other geographic data type like postal code. There's also city. So let's zoom here to the United States. As you can see, you could use your this toolbar. If you use this select button, you will be able to navigate right and left within the view, so you can centralize this easily. If you use this kind of rectangular selection, you can select with this rectangular selection, circular selection, and lasso selection. We're going to talk maybe about this in later classes. And this is just to zoom the area. So you could zoom the area, but now I would like to, in fact, centralize it. So I'm going to go back again to this select and zoom with my, decide to zoom with my mouse, because I have a wheel on my mouse. So it's easier to zoom with the wheel of the mouse if you have such a mouse. All right, so now that you were introduced to this very interesting and helpful toolbar, you can actually pin it or unpin it. So you see what happened now. I have to redo it again. Actually, pin it and then do again and centralize. Good. All right, here and here, if you don't have your scroll with the mouse, the wheel. All right, so now we would like to create a filled map. How would you create a filled map? This map is not filled with anything. There's no colors in there. So you need the measure for that. So I'm going to take, for example, if you want a profit, so I can just drag the profit and drop it in the color. So as we can see here, taking the sum of profit into the color didn't create the anticipated filled map. This is because I have 49 unknowns. Let me click on these 49 unknowns and see what's wrong. Let me edit the location and see what's up. The Alabama, Arizona, all of them are unrecognized, and this is because the country or region for my Tableau was set to the United Kingdom. I would like to change the country or region here to the United States of America or USA. United States. Okay, it is USA probably. Yeah. So it is USA here. So I'm gonna select the USA, and then all of them are matching. The locations are matched, and now we get our filled map. So if you were unlucky like me with the unknown location, now you want. Now let's take again a closer look. Can I just select one of these states? Yes, of course I could, and I can see also the profit and the name of the state. What if I in fact want to see the name of the state on that state on top of the map? How can I add more details to the map? In fact, you can just drag the state and drop it as a label here. So you can add a label, so you will see all the states on top of the map. All right, so this gives me reproduces it? Yes, it reproduces it, and even better. All right, let me just take a look here. I used sum of profit, and you can see here when the profit is in the negative, it's actually within this very orange color. Isn't that smart of Tableau? Here is in between now. It's not really in the negative, so it's in between. And the darkest, the bestest, the highest the profit. And we can see that Texas is probably the highly profitable state in this data set. And Mississippi is probably the least performing in terms of profits. All right. Okay. Let me just take out the sum of profits and instead add the sales over colors. So now I have only one color here. So Tableau is quite smart. So there's no negatives in revenue, in sales. So we start with a gradual color, and here we go. You can also see how the graduality here is done. You could change the colors, edit the colors if you want. You can have orange, you can have blue, you can have green. If you want, you can have this kind of shade of blue. Check. If you want, you can also have something like a blue light. I don't like it so much because it doesn't have like that much a gradual effect, right? So let's have a blue-green and see how is this. Maybe let's have a stepped. So there is 5 steps. So if you want the graduality also to be in kind of steps, so you can also have it in 2 steps, for example. But this doesn't make sense until you get the advanced options and you say at the starting point you can do something or center a center point. But don't worry about this for now. Just would like you to feel more comfortable editing the colors. So now you can see that you have very yellowish here, and then a bit of a yellow-green, and then a greenish, and then all the way to the highest performing states easily pinpointed with this coloring scheme. Okay, so having this said, let's take a look at the other type of maps, which is the simple maps. With the simple maps, you actually have the marks. Marks are actually like the bars. Bars are marks, for example, or the marks are shapes or symbols here. We're not using color here for the map, we are using shapes or symbols placed at specific geographic location, size, color, shape, and so on. Here's the step-by-step instructions to create such a map. Instead of showing the sum of sales, for example, based on filled color only, would like to show how the sum of profit is distributed across different geographical areas with also shapes here. So we have added a detail here, which is the postal code, and added a card here, which is a shape. Here's the instructions on how to do that. You need to get the sales as a measure, and you add the sales this time to the size shelf on the marks card. You don't add the sales to the color. So let's switch to Tableau. So here's the sales. Sales was placed on color. So what happens if I take it and place it on the size? Look what happens. So you can actually just take it and place it on the size, switch the placement, or just take it from here and place it again on the size. Excuse me. So over here you can see that the bigger the sales, the bigger the size of the circle. So automatically that was set to this circle, or automatic here with the circle. Right. Now we switched from color. Again, color will give us the filled map, and size will give us a simple map, for example. How about if we get it in detail, and then we change here to different squares, but as you can see, the size is not any different. It just, do you see the difference, guys? That, for example, here we got circle. All these circles are similar in size. Why? Because what happened is we took sales into detail, and then we changed the mark into circle. So this is indeed different from taking it and putting it on the size. You see how the size of the circle is different. Can we actually take a square and see if the squares also would be different? Yes, the size of the squares now are different. So I hope you can see the difference between dropping the measure into a color filled map, into a size, different sizes of the shapes. You can change the shapes from the cards, marks over here, and the meaningless, putting it into the detail. Usually we use the labels here is even for the names of the states, and here we don't need, the states will also be part of the here of the view here. All right, so let's put it again as circle. And now how can we color these circles? So I'm going to take also, after the size, I'm going to add the color. I'm sorry, I needed to add it with holding the control key. So now holding down the control key, look what happens. After you get the sales into the size, and then hold down the control key and drop it again into color, or if you want, guys, you can just drag the cells again and put it into color. Then this is what happens. I don't like this color scheme. Let's put it again to the original color, which is here. Let's put it into greens, and let's take away the steps, and now we can see different shades of greens. You wanted to put it in blue, you can put it in blue. So if you want, let's take another example. The other example, let's take a profit instead. All right, let's take the postal code now instead. And now here's the United States with different postal code. And now we need profit, for example. So let's take profit and drop it into different sizes. So now we have a different size. Let's take profit and drag it and drop it into different colors. And now we have the profit with a different, you see the different sizes here, and then different colors, and the ones in very light or actually darkest orange are very alarming, because this means that we have profit in negative. So this is also how we create a simple map. All right, so how do we create a filled map? We create a filled map when we have the, okay, look what happens here. I got the size out, and now I have it here automatic filled out with not the intended, it's not the intended, it's not the okay. So let's see why I got this. I got this because the postal codes in each region is bounded with certain boundaries within the state. So this is the area of that postal code. So over here we have this whole area is filled. So I would like you to also understand that we don't only fill this. In the previous example, we filled the state. Over here, we are filling the postal code. We have the postal code is what created this map. All right? Please don't lose sight. So this map is created because of the postal code. And because of that, each postal code is delineated with a certain boundaries and areas within the state. And within this postal code, we have the filled color of the profit. We can fill also the maps with certain cells here. So again, it's the same situation. If you want to go back again to the states, then you can just take the state and drop it into the details. And now again, we have the state, and we have here the labels of the states. We want maybe the cells to be in terms of size instead of filled map. So here it is. We want to color these circles as well, these symbols. We can also do that. And this is in terms of each state. I can see really the dots here. It's so small. You see how small it is? Like almost nothing. So this is in terms of states. All right. So this is also another example for a simple map. So let's take a look. Here we have it with the postal code. I've done that already. Then I showed you how to do it with the simple map. And also over here you can use the full color range, or you can use you can just uncheck it, and over here you can use up to 12 if you want. Yeah, check that out. All right, how about the density maps? Have you ever seen maps that looks like this? It's like density maps, we call them. These are like heat points highlighted in red in the very core, and then surrounded by lighter colors. So in this case, how do we create this kind of map? We create this kind of map, again, if you want, you can get the postal code so that there will be heat points around the postal codes within each state. And then from the marks here, from this card, you could actually try to get the density or select the density. All right, let's do that together. So let's clear the view and take the postal code. Here it is. So double click that. And now you would like to get a density map. So before that, let's get the sales or profit in this case. So here we go, and then take a density map. Here, last one here. So over here I have a density map with a gradual blue because okay, so what if I would like to change or add a color here? So I'm gonna just okay, so whereas I change this to color. Okay, so let's take a look at the color here. The color here, you can also change the color from automatic to a different color scheme that you want. Over here we have density green dark, we have density red dark, we have density gold dark. You can try either one. This is probably best for density because it starts with density. So let's see density blue. That is the probably also an interesting view. Density two colors. Let's see density red dark gold dark multicolor. So let's do this density multicolor. Is quite interesting. So this would be how we create a density map, as you can see. So we can here see that if there is any kind of association that we can see within the location, for example, of a certain density point here. This is to the east of the state, Texas, the Texas state. This is also probably a little bit to the east. Maybe the postal codes toward the east, for example, receives less rain, more rain. You got my point. If we're talking about rain or weather, most likely this kind of like density graphs could be used when you want to specify if there is a trend within a certain location, like away from that location, increase of sales, or going toward that focal point, there would be a decrease of profits or sales and so on. So here's also another example of density, another example of a map, which is a density map. Let me switch to the slides. Over here, I in detail explain to you how to use this color scheme, so you can change the color from here. Density multicolor is maybe the best, and you have the intensity. You can gauge the intensity and the opacity and different effects. If you want to add borders or halo around it, you can please play around with this for about 5 minutes so that you could get used to it. Now the last thing I wanted to show you is how to create this maps with a show me. So if you select, for example, any, let's select city this time, and with discount, let me try this. This is I hope that it works. It gives us something interesting. So here's the cities and here's the discount. I selected both of them by holding down the control key, selecting the second one, went to show me, and I can see that one of the recommended here is either, let's try this one, for example. Here, this is a map, and as you can see, this is like, okay, let me switch to this so I can centralize it. So this unit, here's this map. What happened? Okay, now it's okay. So this is one map that was created by using, there's a discount is actually in decimal points. What if I want the discount to be in percentages? Let's check if I can change here the measure into change the format here. So let me take a look if I can do that. It's in numbers. Can I do it in percentage, for example, with 2 decimals? Okay, and see, and then automatic and font is okay. Automatic is all right. You can increase the font if you want here. Now let me add this sum of sales by holding down the control key into the labels, so I can see what's going on. But there's no percentage mark. Let me check again what's going on. So over here, this is the sum. Let me check the format again. And here I have decided maybe I need alignment is okay, totals are okay, special values, axes. The axes, I don't want it in percentage, I added here. Okay, so okay, let me check why I can't get the percentage sign added. Let me see why. Because over here I have it, as you can see, here is the percentage, but I cannot have it here in terms of a percentage. Let me check if this is possible somehow, if we can do that. In any case, here scientific, let's just keep it scientific then, and it doesn't make a big difference. And let me check my notes on how to get it done, probably because I have 741 unknowns. Let me edit locations and see. Here's the USA, state and province. Oh, okay, so I have to fix one by one, and this is like this is probably, yeah, I just fixed it for one state. Okay, so probably I'm just gonna, let's try from field and see. Yes, now it's all okay. All right, so now this is supposed to be a sufficient graph. Please excuse me, I'm going to check whether we can get the percentage done, maybe on the detail. I'll check that and get back to you regarding this. Also, let's get out of here by just opting out on the XPath and get city again. With the profit. All right. Also, I need to get locations here done. So I have also another map. So here I couldn't get to this map. So in any case, you can change to this because I have a state here and city. Okay, this is why. All right, no problem. But this is also a very interesting map. You can see how the coloring here automatically been done again because we got profits. We have negative values, and over here you can, if you want, you can get rid of the states, but then you end up with city. I see what the problem is, and they added states because we added it from here. Okay, if we put none, we hit OK, then we will end up with what we need here. Okay, without the state, yeah. Okay, but then we will have 700 something unknowns. Yeah. Okay, so if we add from field here, state, province, city. Okay, so now we have the state added. Okay, no problem. Sum of profit is on the color, though. Let me take it out. And these are the cities. So you see that if we don't have the state, we will have the cities delineated in whatever shape here, default by Tableau. So these are the different cities within this state. So please don't mistake these to be the points for the sales or the profits. If you got, and over here, the filling, if you want to put a filled map, it won't really be as nice because what will be filled is actually those circles. The circles will be filled, not the map. You can see the map is kind of like a bit grayish. You want to get it filled? Then here you're going to add the state, but still, you see, it is only filled when we have it's filled based on the granular level of detail. This is what I would like to establish here. So this is in fact kind of filled map, but filled based on a certain shape. Here, let's put it as a circle, for example. So the circles will be filled here for the city. If we take the city out, then put here here's we have the states, and we have it under, let me just put the city again under automatic and see what happens. If we drop down the city here and keep it automatic and then add profits, then nothing really changes. We get out the city, then under automatic also, then we get the filled map. Okay, so now I hope that you have seen that little tiny things that could make a little difference. So if we had already, here's the city, and it was not automatic, it was circle, and we got rid of the city, that won't give us the filled map. So if you were questioning why I'm not getting the filled map, because you need here to drag to automatic. So this is the power of using the marks cards. Okay, all right guys, so this is it for the maps. I hope I did not confuse you. I hope that it's easy. For a filled map, you need, of course, a geographic data type, and then you need to drop one of the measures into the color and make sure it's automatic here and not into any certain shape. If you want to fill a certain shape like a circle with a certain size, then definitely add, for example, here profit to size as well. So you will have the filled area is actually the circle that also changes in size, because you cannot change the size of the state itself, you know, it's not doable. So you can change the size of a circle and also give it a different shading of color. For density, you can easily just choose the density here, maps, get rid of the sum of profit as in terms of a size, and you can, it is very recommended that you use a multicolor density here. You could also add a different here if you can, if you have a density with okay, I missed it. Okay, can you actually drag density with size? No, you can't. It's deactivated. With label, probably. Detail, well, you already have added the labels here, which is the profits. All right, with the density, of course, you can change the effect here, the opacity, different kind of effects, as I explained earlier. I like to see them. If it's multicolor, it's better to see at least two colors in there. So probably you need to change the intensity so that you can see it. If you want to border, you can border it. If you want a halo, you can also add that to it, but there's no need to do that. Okay, I think this is it for now. If you want to do it with sum of sales, you can see how this is different with the sum of sales. And well, add it to the label as well, so you can add labels. Alright guys, this is it for now. I think this is enough for maps. They are not very difficult or complicated. You just always need to remember that to create a map, you need to start with a field with a data type and of a geographic data type, guys. And of course you need a measure. And for a filled map, you need to add the measure to the color. For a simple data map, you add the measure to a size, and then you can color that size, different sized circle or square or whatever shape it is you choose, by adding also the same measure to the color shelf. Alright guys, wait a minute, what if I want to use two measures? So one of the measures is this one, and it is the color, and another, okay, well, let's start all over again. So here's the states, wait a minute, so here is, let's add the states, and this is automatic, and let's add sales for color, and let's add profit for size. So now you will have the biggest size, the bigger the circles, the bigger the profits, and the darker the circle, the larger the revenue, which makes sense. When the circle is smaller and smaller, it's lighter and lighter. When the circle is bigger and bigger, it is darker, and so on. So you can use two measures, as you can see here. So you can know that the coloring could also be based on a different measure. So one last thing I would like to say here is about this marks cards. This marks shelf has to do with changing or formatting these marks either being bars or either being these circles, whatever marking the spatial landscape of the view or the viz here. All right, so you can change the color, the size, add a label, a tooltip. For example, if you add a tooltip of a profit, look what happens. Over here you have this is as a tooltip, and you can format the tooltip of your liking. It has a state, it has the sum profit, the sum of sales. You can, for example, get rid of the state, and especially if you have the states already dropped on the label. So you already have the states. So let's have the states dropped on the label. So we have the states already. So look at the tooltip now, this little window that pops out, the little tag. This is the tooltip. Now it doesn't have a state. You see that? It just has profit and sales. Why? Because I already have the state as a label on the map. There's no need for repetition or duplication of information. So I hope this is it for maps. I'll see you in the next video.